On the Path. March 26, 2014. Greetings, we are the Council of Nine. We come today to address the rapid advancement of those who are undergoing the more advanced stages of ascension. This is occurring due to the magnificent effort by those involved in receiving the light codes and frequency upgrades being absorbed by your planetary body and your individual physical forms, as the cosmic waves come crashing upon the shore of your blue-green planet. Additionally, more and more humans are waking up. This is evident to those who have been on the path of awakening for decades. Suddenly, people who would have never considered doing research on disputed topics are now delving into all kinds of avenues, searching for answers, questioning everything about their lives and what is going on in the world. It is important that although you have been on the path for an extended period of time, you may not have the answers for these individuals. Let them search out their answers on their own. We remind you that the New World does not have guru-student relationships. Individuals are held responsible for their own studies and are encouraged to seek multiple ways of exploring, without settling on the way, as the path to be followed will differ for each person. Only the soul and overseeing monadic presence knows what the purpose of this lifetime is, and how that individual might fulfill it. The timing and direction will differ for each, so it is best not to compare your progress with others. You will sense when you have come to a new stage in your personal development. The path less worn is often more suited for some, while others are more comfortable working within a group environment. Only you can determine what is best for you, and realize that your preferences may change depending on those with whom you develop connections and your own inner nudges and hunches as your intuition speaks to you. We encourage all light workers, whether experienced or just starting out, to use your discernment and to learn to rely heavily on your own intuition as to where to step next. Know that the Galactic Federation, the Ascended Masters, and other beings of light cannot tell you in advance what is to happen, as that knowledge would influence the outcome and change the result. Do you understand this, dear ones? Your scientists have witnessed this effect during experiments. The thoughts held by the participants can alter the expected outcome. Also, to reveal what is to occur, even tomorrow, is to give advance notice to those who still work in opposition to the advent of the light forces upon this long-darkened planet. So, learn to be patient, listen within, test the waters, experiment, and learn to trust the ability of your intuition and inner guidance to show you the way, step by step. The path demands adaptability, flexibility, tenacity and determination, patience, perseverance, trust, faith, compassion, and a great willing to love unconditionally. Ascension will not be handed to you on a plate like a piece of chocolate cake. However, with openness of mind and heart, you will begin to see synchronicities and participate in the opportunities that emerge for you, if you keep alert and are willing to step outside the boundaries in which you have long played while living a life in the third dimension. Also, realize that no one way fits all. Talented and experienced light workers have created ascension material for others to follow, but it does not always suit, as our scribe found out much to her momentary dismay. However, she is much used to going her own way and as a result, expects it of others who follow in her footsteps. You might see these steps that are taken on an individual basis as a means to sort out those who are truly dedicated to the process and those who are simply enamored by spiritual attainment and blinded by spiritual pride. The pitfalls along the path are many, and are designed to test the ability of the initiate to truly embody the qualities that are required for mastery as well as the responsibility that comes with it. Know also that if you do appear to stumble, that it isn't the end of the world. You have not necessarily failed. Simply shake yourself off, reflect on the outcome of your mistake and go forward. Growth in spiritual dimensions will often seem chaotic when viewed by the eyes of someone who is more comfortable with a structured learning environment. And this chaos and the resulting confusion will grow if the individual is unable to move beyond their self-imposed boundaries of understanding and inability to adapt. The fifth dimension and higher frequency worlds are more fluid in their existence. Things do not always remain the same and are less concrete than what you have experienced in the lower frequencies, slowed down density of the third dimension, especially as it exists on planet Earth for most people. As you rise in frequency, you will change. It is inevitable. And you will change in unexpected and unpredictable ways as you endeavor to follow your personal star towards the higher planes of existence. You will be unable to categorize yourself as one thing or another, especially as you take on the energies of your higher self, as you are a multidimensional being. Various aspects of self will take priority over others depending on the circumstances involved. This approach to life takes some getting used to, so ascension or descension of spirit into the physical body, as is currently taking place on planet Earth, is only undertaken in increments, to allow both body and mind to adapt to the changes. If you were to change into a light body tomorrow upon waking, chances are you would no longer be embodied. Such was the pattern that existed for most initiates in past eras when there occurred both individual and mass ascensions. The physical body was left behind and the light body disappeared into the unseen realms. Now what is occurring on Gaia is the beginning of physical ascension, bringing heaven to earth by allowing the higher self to completely enter the physical vessel and remain there, in charge of the life stream's mission here. This process is an intricate, delicate and lengthy one, especially for those who go first. They have, for the most part, prepared for such an occurrence, for lifetimes and for decades in this lifetime. There are souls who have been birthed into this world during the last 30 years who are currently discovering that when they do wake up, the process occurs quite rapidly. One day they are working in a corporate world, the next, they are studying Reiki on a beach in Maui, or in the midst of building a cooperative community in Central America. This can and is happening to older persons as well, those who have had successful careers, and suddenly discover that there is something big missing from their lives. For each individual the wake-up call and process is slightly different, as is the purpose for their being here. And it is up to the individual involved to discover these things, the whys and wherefores on their own. The path of ascension is one where the individual releases what no longer works for them, undergoes a period or periods of clearing, becomes self-empowered, and acquires and uses the needed tools to tackle the challenges that come along. And come along they will. Each initiate will be challenged daily in some way to see if they can use creativity to overcome any and all obstacles. Many of those who have incarnated upon this planet at this time and for the last 6 decades or so, have done so out of a desire to assist in freeing this planet from the darkness which has kept it a backward and isolated place from the rest of the galaxy and universe. This is a task that was undertaken originally through love, but in the process of incarnation has been forgotten by many. Now, people are beginning to remember, sometimes vaguely, that there is something they should be doing than what they are doing at the moment. As the frequency levels of the planet rise, more will awake, but just when that will occur will depend on each individual involved. For with ascension, as each person acknowledges the desire to ascend, they must also acknowledge the need to assume responsibility for their own path, and to accept the self-determination that is demanded of all those who would attain high station in the spiritual realms. Ascension is not a way to escape the world if you are unhappy. If you hope that it is, you will be sorely tested until you open to the realization that your soul is the creator of your world, not your human self. And your soul knows very well just what it will take to release the human conditioning, needs and wants, in order for the individual to truly buckle down and do the work that is required through the ascension process. Initiation, ascension, is self-mastery and is not completely instantaneously. When you do arrive at genuine self-mastery, you will open up to what has been referred to as magic, the ability to instantly manifest whatever is required in the moment. However, this can only take place when the time is right and the human ego is no longer in command of the physical vessel. Then, and only then, when you as a soul-infused individual are ready and prepared, will you be able to experience miracles as you become in truth a sacred alchemist. These gifts are sealed until each initiate is ready and has been thoroughly tested, for the brotherhoods and sisterhoods of light do not want a repeat of the misuse of creative energies as occurred on Atlantis and Lemuria. The higher worlds have much to offer, but it is here, on Gaia, where you are tested, individually, for your personal initiative, creativity, and determination, and the will to move your personal mountains, challenges, in order to be able to truly serve humanity. And that service starts with learning self-respect, releasing self-judgment, accept personal empowerment, releasing all that no longer and maybe never did serve you, releasing all conditioning that has emanated from outside of you. In other words, you create your own learning environment, from a soul level, as you progress along the path. The delicate art of listening to your inner guidance is necessary, and the lessons will repeat themselves over and over until you get it and are willing to accept this very necessary surrender to a higher will than that of your human personality. Ascension is a challenging process but highly rewarding. And with this opportunity to physically ascend, you have raised the bar higher for yourself. Each person who succeeds in creating and embodying as light body on the planet will be making it easier for those who follow them, but there will always be challenges to overcome. Those light workers who are in the ranks, who are near or have already experienced a step in their ascension process where they can experience other dimensions and realities at will, are setting a pattern or path for others to follow in their footsteps. They are resetting the frequency levels needed to obtain the same results. Each individual who succeeds doesn't lower the bar necessarily, but assists in raising the frequency levels of the entire planet. As a result, the humans who are able to adapt to the rising vibratory levels have done so because of their preparations, mostly done unconsciously and at inner levels, the etheric planes, during dream time. Those who have not prepared, due to their soul agenda, not to ascend in this lifetime, will simply leave and find themselves living on another world. There is no end to spirit, as all is energy. Some have called this process the separation of the worlds, and so it is, although they will not physically separate initially. Rather, the separation will be by frequency and alignment with the energies. For quite a long time, the two worlds or more will exist side by side, simultaneously. This phenomenon will confuse people greatly if they are not aware or willing to see and especially, to feel what is occurring. This stage has already been reached for some, and they will soon find it too difficult to continue on, and so will find some way to leave the planet. There is no reason to judge these individuals, as their soul purposes differ from your own. They will reincarnate in the new world when and if it is the will of their soul and higher self to do so, in a new and more adaptable physical vessel, attuned to the higher energies present there. We encourage all of those who feel that they are ascending to release any sense of false pride or to compare you with others who might appear to be still asleep. Potentially they could surprise you and overtake you in attainment at a rapid pace once they wake up, as each soul has the capacity to adapt and put into effect the gifts and graces earned during other embodiments, whether here or in other planetary systems. As you rise up in frequency, these gifts are unwrapped and revealed for each of you to use for the highest good of all, including self, as you develop. With growing confidence and initiative, you will soon discover that you are, indeed, a force to be reckoned with. There is much we could say, but we will finish up for now, as our scribe needs her well-deserved rest and relaxation for the day. Meanwhile, do take it to heart that we are here to assist each of you, as are your brothers and sisters of the light, as members of the Ashtar Command and Galactic Federation of Light, as the Ascended Masters of Gaia, as archangels and legions of angelic beings, as elementals and formless powers, all who long to see this beautiful world take her place among the Christed star nations. We send you our blessings and freely lend our energies to ease and guide you, if permission is granted, as this remains a planet of free will. You are each a sovereign being, and as such we respect, admire, and adore each of you as you venture forth on a magnificent journey of discovery. To each of you we send you our love. We await the time to come when we can walk side by side through the beautiful flower-filled valleys of the New World, and gaze upon the magnificent golden cities of light that are being constructed there right now. Now we bid you good day. Look to us to greet you in the etheric temples as you sleep, beloveds. Namaste. Channeled by Elizabeth Ayres Escher. www.bluedragonjournal.com